Hello guys and welcome to episode 6 or 7, I think it's 7 of the Weebcast. I'm out here with Bosun.
Manga the betas, the betas, the manga the betas.
There you go, Momo.
Hello up guys.
The Bill.
Yo.
And Mike.
I'm in love.
And today we're going to be talking about the saddest anime deaths in anime history. And we're gonna go through it, and we're gonna start off with Bosun.
How about we all just state our ones in a round and then we go start off like that, innit?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Go on, Bosun.
So I'll go off. My one is Monkey D Ace, R.I.P.
Hold on, his name is Podcast. Yes.
Is it?
Yes, Podcast. Yes, fam. I don't even know his name, fam.
Yo,
Monkey
state
D.
the
Ace, fam.
anime as well. State the anime as
Hey,
well.
start again, please.
Naji, you embarrass yourself. Nah.
Nah, is this staying in, bro? This is staying in, bro.
That's a Monkey D. Ace.
Monkey D Ace, man.
Monkey D Ace. Hey, start again, please.
No. Alright, Momo, what's yours,
Alright,
bro?
Podcast D Ace. Podcast D.
Paul Ace. Momo, what's yours?
The Jiraiya from Naruto, innit?
Jiraiya from
Oh.
Naruto. Alright. Nabil, what's yours, bro?
Elfin Death Note.
How did I know?
Oh, you chose L. Oh, for fuck's sake.
For me, it's Kamina from Gurren Lagann. Alright, Mike.
Has anyone
Say
picked
that. Who's
Jir-
your character?
Well, who's the character there?
Has anyone picked Jiraiya?
Kamina.
Kamina, yeah, that's what I said.
Has anyone picked Jiraiya?
Jiraiya, yeah, I'm gonna pick Jiraiya.
Right.
Oh my! I was gonna pick L. Okay,
Yo.
I'll pick May Hughes or whatever his name is called.
Alright, from which anime?
You know what, Mike?
Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist. Okay.
Okay. I want to hear your L1 still, but that's calm.
Yeah, well, it's too late, man.
You can contribute
It's
anyway.
okay.
You can contribute anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, choice,
jump
but,
in.
you know.
Alright.
Jump in.
Anyway, you know when we go back to Bosun again, why is it the saddest death, bro?
All right. So, if I'm being totally honest, right? The death itself isn't that sad, innit? It's the implications of what happened before the death and what happened afterwards, right? So, just for a bit of context, the arc was the Marineford arc, but if you go before that, it was the Impel Down arc, where Luffy was locked up. So you have to imagine this: like Luffy's gone through. That guy's been in prison. He's trying to escape. He's fought like all these strong bodyguards, like the poison guy. I forgot his name. So he fights through there. He gets to the Marineford, and essentially there's a big war between the government and the Shichibukai versus Whitebeard's crew. And so for me, what makes me sad, and why I find it such a sad death is because at the end of the day, right, we get to the point where he's about to be executed. You know, we find out that he's actually Goldie Roger's son as well. So it's a big reveal. Luffy's had, and Luffy and Ivankov and all of his mates have basically fought off against the government and the Shichibukai, and Ace is about to be killed. Then he gets saved. So it's like, in a lot of animes, usually what happens like that is like, once a character gets saved, people kind of think, okay, that's it, over. You know, they've done mission completed. It's all done. It's all good. It's all dusted. And then Luffy's about to get attacked by a Kainu, and Ace jumps in the way, and he basically gets hit by a Kainu's haki infused lava punch, with his insides all busted open. And you know, like we were saying before, like usually that would be an instant death, but it wasn't. So what made it even more sad was the fact that while that guy was literally burning with his insides, he was still talking to Luffy, still giving him encouragement, still telling him that, yeah, you can do this, even though I'm going. Because again, even more big backstory is the fact they were actually adopted. They were brothers as well, but they weren't actual like blood brothers. And then they grew up, you know, like Monkey, Luffy's granddad basically looked after them, and Sabo as well. So, you know, they've had that relationship for years. You know, like he's always been looked out for him as well. Like no matter what trouble he gets in, it's always kind of been there for him as well. And so to see your brother like just like after you tried so hard to save him, you actually then saved him, and for him to still actually die afterwards, that shit was terrible, bro.
Okay, let's rewind it. Let's rewind it. All right. Okay, so after they saved Ace and were running, why did Ace stop? Right? Because I think the death wasn't sad. I just think it was funny. It was a stupid death. Why did Ace stop?
Well, you're a heartless prick. That's why. But
Bam.
the thing is,
Arcane. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Go on.
well, if my memory serves me correct, I think well, Arcane was gonna attack Luffy anyway. So I think either Luffy dropped or he realized something, and then Ace basically saved him.
Okay. Cool. This
Like a big brother.
is what I remember. Right. They save Ace. Right. Now they're running, and then Akainu said something about Whitebeard. Right. And then that's when Ace was like, "Oh, you know what? Let me stop and like throw a few punches because this guy is talking shit about my captain." When he should have been running. So after that, somehow the that paper thing that shows someone's life here dropped.
The V card,
and then the V card, and then that's when Luffy was about to pick it up. And then guess what? And then that's when Akainu was like, "Wait, let me try to use this to fuck up Luffy." And then that's when he jumped. But if he ran with Luffy, if he was running with Luffy and then stopped just to talk to fucking Akainu for talking shit about Whitebeard, that wouldn't have happened in the first place. Everyone could have just went off.
You got to think about that this year. Whitebeard's basically a father to these guys, isn't it?
I don't give a fuck.
Look. At the end of the day, okay, if someone disrespecting your father like that, obviously you're gonna feel some type of way.
No. What I forgot what he said. I just wish I knew exactly what he said because I know it wasn't that.
He basically was like saying that they're basically cowards, isn't it, for running away? Because like he basically to them like, okay, look, you're the Whitebeard crew. You're the big pirates, right? But basically, you're just running with your tail behind your legs.
That's a very childish way to go out. To be honest,
don't get me wrong. It was very childish, isn't it? But at the end of the day, like, if you put it into context, he was protecting his brother in it. Like even when he could have, like obviously he wouldn't have done that, but he could have jumped out the way. He could have left it. He could have let Luffy got attacked, but he would never do that, innit?
Yeah, of course. I know that's calm.
I can sum it up for you. Like a sentence. Luffy drops the soap. Ace gets in his way and gets penetrated.
Literally, that's what happened. But it was stupid. It was stupid, isn't it? Look,
the death itself, like the meaning to the actual death itself. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think it's dumb as fuck. I agree with you. He just ran away. They would have got away. But at the end of the day, these are pirates. They have pride in what they do. The government are basically their main enemies. You know, they were fighting for like how long were they fighting this? Or how many fights were there in this whole arc, right?
So much resources, wasted so much time. I was vouching for Ace to survive. Yeah, I was only sad because I liked Ace. After that, when I actually deeped what just happened, I was like, Ace is a fucking stupid guy, you know. They were right there.
But beside the point, like the main point I'm trying to get at, it's not necessarily if he's stupid or dumb. I'm just getting to the point that at the end of the day, you know, they worked so hard to save him.
Yeah,
they did actually save him, and then for him then to still die when they're just about to leave, and then for him to still protect his brother, like no matter how far they got. To me, that's just like so sad. But then at the same time, the good thing about that was that kind of gave Luffy even more kind of inspiration to kind of. Obviously, at first, Luffy was going through like a real depression. It was in the Amazon island where he was just going crazy, like he couldn't handle himself in it.
Yeah.
But towards the end, like he still kind of like used Ace's death. And I definitely guarantee you that it's gonna come in the future. Luffy's gonna give Akainu that fucking fade. That's coming soon. That's for Ace first.
Okay.
And obviously when Sabo found out Ace died as well, that was kind of sad. Like he was crying as well. Like he found out that because like again, it's like they weren't really blood brothers, but at the same time they still had that kind of bond.
I think if we didn't know the backstory, if we didn't know the backstory, that whole scene was that sad, you know.
Yeah, but that's the point. We do have the backstory, isn't it?
Yeah. If we didn't know the backstory, that whole scene would have been sad. That's what I'm deep.
That was like proper a marine hero, fam. Shed tears for Ace in it when he passed away, fam.
Exactly. Even like Luffy's granddad, like it was hard for him because he didn't want Ace to die, but he had to do to follow orders. And he just said he was happy himself when Ace escaped, he was kind of happy, and then when Ace died, he was going crazy. Like he was going nuts. Like he went to fuck up everyone in the Marines, didn't it? So it's like, but yeah, I think for me it's just like a reminder of life, like how like in life in general, like even you can try your best, innit? But shit can happen, and then it's just like the whole situation just flips 180, 360. Yeah, that's it.
Alright, Momo, you go, bro. Tell us more about Jiraiya and his death.
Basically, I picked Jiraiya, and Jiraiya is probably one of the most likable characters in Naruto. He's probably, if not the best likable character, and it was just like came into the scene from the very start, like to mentor Naruto when Kakashi went off with the snake, Sasuke, innit? You gave it. So obviously Jiraiya took up the mantle of mentoring the idiot, who saw a lot of potential, and then obviously like there was a lineage behind it, who he was his dad master already, and he took on his son to teach him and whatnot. Taught him like all these. They taught him the Rasengan. Yeah, he taught him the Rasengan.
Yeah,
Taught him the summoning jutsu. He refined him into the ninja that he.
taught him to summon frogs.
He even took him to make. Yeah, he made.
To be a pervert.
Exactly. He made that exactly what he is in it. And the fact of the matter is, like, died in that exact scenario. No one was there around him to help him, and he basically got gang raped. And he got a gang rape, and his body did he get sent back or?
Like he got crushed in it under the ocean.
He went on a spying mission.
His body got crushed back in it. So all like the only thing that went back to the Leaf Village was news that he's dead in it.
Yeah.
You get it? And I think it was like the setting that Naruto was in after that. My man like walked all the way up like a hill, got a little lollipop from a corner shop, sat down like in the middle of the night and was just crying his eyes out. Like it was just deep down.
You know what it
You're
was?
saying that while you're laughing. That's
Because he was one of the. Are they called Senins? What are they? The free.
Yeah, Senin, yeah.
Because he was one of the Senins, I don't think anyone expected him to get crushed that easily.
It wasn't that easy though. To be fair, he had you know.
Like, it was a 65, fam. It was like a long.
The thing is, like, the reason why I respect Jiraiya so much is that at the end of the day, he fought him when he didn't know he didn't know Pain's abilities, isn't it? So he didn't realize there was six actual Pains at the same time. So it was like, you know, it was hard. It was hard for him.
And only he could have probably had the slightest chance of going there, finding out his abilities, making it out alive, innit?
Yeah. But it was funny how Naruto figured out how pain works, but Jiraiya didn't.
That's dumb because you know the frog. Yeah, the frog that fought with Jiraiya, he gave him the sage powers. Like went back to the village, and he's the one that trained Naruto into sage mode.
Also, don't forget Jiraiya actually worked out the puzzle and then gave it to Konoha, and they spent over 2 weeks figuring out
how to fight pain.
Even then,
you know what? Like, the more sad about it is that we forgot the fact that Jiraiya actually taught pain as well. He taught Nagato, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm telling you.
The guy that killed him was like his own
Pain's ability. If Jiraiya knew Pain's abilities, he wouldn't have lost time.
Nah, he wouldn't have lost. No.
Wouldn't have lost time because look at Naruto, fam. Naruto didn't lose, and even though Pain did still destroy like 9% of the village. Exactly, still destroyed the village, innit? And they came up with 2 weeks for continuous attacks. Fuck off, fam. And 2 weeks doing this shit, bro. Yeah, fam. Pain had to. It had to be one of the most, if not the most depressing deaths in Naruto still.
Yeah, definitely.
I think because he didn't get his body as well. Like at least if they had his body, they could have buried him and everything. But the fact that my guy was like literally on the ocean is like shit. That's kind of fucked up as well.
Yeah,
the worst thing was when Pain revived everyone at the end of it. He didn't revive Jiraiya.
Well, he can't, isn't it?
Why couldn't he?
His body was in the ocean, fam.
There's no body. You need the body to revive it. How can you revive
Wait, was his body like demolished, or I thought he just died? Like,
well, if your body's under the ocean, what do you think happens, isn't it? Like, it just gets decomposed, isn't it?
It wouldn't decompose in like less than a month. Like, it was within a week or some shit.
Okay,
yeah, right. It would take like
jump in the ocean and then let's see what happens to your body, isn't it?
You think for the water, it will take a couple of days, fam, before you're completely like. Yeah, in water, fam.
But you know the ocean. You know that the pressure in the ocean is like stronger than is on the earth, right? On the flat surface.
Okay, I didn't think it was like that.
So like he's gonna obviously sink, and then by the time he gets like, however deep he gets, it's gonna literally just crush his body, and then he's gonna turn into brittle bones, basically. Like,
also,
his body's never been
bear in mind, yeah, like Jiraiya fell into the ocean, not a bloody bathroom sink. Like
exactly, not a river or
you're not gonna exactly. I mean, how much of the ocean are you gonna scour? Like, you know, it's just pointless. Also, to perform the reanimation technique, you need genetic material. So either skin, blood, whatever.
I'm talking about when Pain did his ability.
Which one?
Yeah, the sixth path of pain, the one that can bring people back to life. I know, but you still need the actual body to bring someone back, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know,
that
but the
one.
Bill's
Right,
talking
right,
about
right.
reanimation.
No, but they had to be dead for like temporarily.
You're still too close to the mic, but yeah.
Oh, they had to be dead temporarily, so that's why.
Yeah.
Back. So
But what
the
does temporary mean? That wasn't even
Yeah, what
clarified.
does that
Yeah,
mean?
that doesn't-
Temporarily.
was
Yeah.
probably in the
It's
last.
the same day, innit? You get me? The
The
same
last
day.
day,
fam.
yeah.
No,
Jiraiya was
that,
less than a
that
month.
wasn't clarified at all.
You don't need
It was.
to.
It actually was
It
clarified.
There was
That
a-
was
there was-
clarified.
I mean, no,
Was it
no. But a reasonable guess. Okay, yeah, probably.
That was clarified.
Yeah, I mean, because everyone who died from that
I didn't say that.
go back to life.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
But like, and then obviously,
Alright,
you know,
moving on.
the Tale of the Gutsy Ninja, like, so the story behind, again, him and Jiraiya and Nagato as well, like, that's another thing I'll say that's really sad is that, you know, because Nagato, again, because the fact that Nagato really, like, wasn't necessarily a bad guy, but he was in a fucked up situation, like the Rain Village. And Jiraiya tried to, like, kind of really teach him and, you know, bring him up, and then he ended up becoming pain anyway, because Nagato, Yahiko's death turned him basically crazy. That was pretty fucked up as well, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was doing everything for the greater good, didn't
Yeah, like, because he kind of believed that he could be the Naruto, isn't it? Like Nagato, isn't it?
Yeah.
He could have been Naruto in a sense, isn't it? But like, because of
it?
his like, just...
Yeah, but the rule now to hit Nagato with that talk jutsu, innit? Talk no jutsu.
It always works, isn't it? It always freaking works.
Always works. A couple
Apart
words.
from Sasuke.
Yeah.
Oh, flip it
Well,
out.
Sasuke is just a
Yeah.
Flat his arm and yeah, talk no jutsu, fam.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
Jiraiya even brought like the Tsunade back and all that, so he's done a lot. Tsunade did do a significant amount for the Leaf Village, so
Come
yeah.
back.
Jiraiya just generally is a good guy, like just a general
yeah, just
good
a
guy.
general good guy.
The death, like, all the more
Sad.
sad in my opinion. That, yeah.
All right, so on a scale to 1 to a 0 and 100 infinity, whatever, how many tears did you produce when he died?
No tears when Jiraiya died still. But I was just
See, I actually cried when Ace.
Yo.
See, I actually cried when Ace died, bro.
No, I was
Ace-
upset
when
when
Ace died-
Jiraiya died. That was
Yes.
one of the saddest moments.
Nah, Ace's death. I won't lie, it's one of the saddest moments. At the start, when I first saw it.
You were
But
not
now,
saying that.
yeah.
When you look back,
When I look back, it's fucking shit. When I did see it first time, I felt like crying. I felt like crying.
Jiraiya?
The tears were just
No,
no,
there,
Ace,
fam.
Ace, wait.
Ace, the
thing
tears
is,
were just
when
there,
you
fam.
think, when the first thing you think of when you say saddest anime deaths is Jiraiya
Nah.
for me.
Nah.
But you haven't seen One Piece.
I guess everyone's different, isn't it? Yeah.
Like, you haven't seen One Piece. Can't really.
So what? Like that doesn't matter, man. It's like
Of
for
course.
No,
me,
One Piece has
Yeah, it
real
doesn't
sad
matter.
death.
Animes
Like,
I've
Because
seen.
for most people who've seen the big animes, when they talk about sad deaths, they'll talk about
Yo,
Ace.
but wait. Momo's a freaking advocate for One Piece, but he still chose Jiraiya.
That's because someone else took it.
No, but I'm sure there's not just one death in One Piece, bro.
Loads of death in One Piece.
Exactly,
But,
and he chose
like,
but
Jiraiya
Ace-
over them.
The saddest death in One
The saddest, isn't it? That's bad deaths are not sad, you know. Some people are just irrelevant.
Oh,
I thought Faith's death was sad as well. You know, what's Doflamingo's brother?
Who?
Yo.
Depressing. That scene
Doflamingo's
was,
brother.
that scene was so
Who, Neji?
That was. See, that's the thing. It was the consequence of Ace's death. Which was sad. Like, the whole fact that Garp was about to kill one of his admirals. You know, at the
yeah, that's not confirmed. He was gonna fight him.
Yeah.
We don't know if he's strong enough to kill Akainu, and I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying like that. He was that angry that he was about to square up. You know, and then he had Sengoku sort of bury his head in the ground, like, you know, pin him down, because he knew that if, you know, Sengoku sort of got up, then Garp would have.
His end for his marine career, innit?
See, that's
You
the
can't
thing.
fight,
That's the thing about Garp. He didn't even know what he was, because he was so angry.
He's reacting on impulse because you know he took Ace under his wing in it. Like he took him to a place. He even fathered them to some extent.
It was so
He
heartbreaking.
definitely had a connection to Ace in it.
For Garp.
He definitely
Like,
had a connection to
Garp,
Ace.
you know, he basically wanted his two adopted grandsons. Well, one of them was adopted to become
A Marine.
yeah, to grow up in a marine lifestyle, but they went against his wishes and turned into pirates. But he still loved them anyway. Still loved them. And the hardest thing was he was in the middle between saving one of his grandsons because another one was coming to him. Like, imagine being stuck with two long. Oh, man.
All right, let's go to the next one. Next person. Next person.
Bill, go ahead, bro.
L. Okay. To be honest, yeah, L is so underrated. ELLs Death is so underrated. That whole episode.
His name is L.
Is one of the greatest episodes in anime history. Period.
For sure, for sure.
See, yeah, okay. So it was called Silence, yeah. And here's the thing about anime deaths in general. Like, and I'm gonna point to Jiraiya's and I'm gonna point to the Aces. They are so overblown. Like, it's all about the reaction. It's all about overflowing emotions, shit like that. ELLs Death was one of the quietest deaths. Like, one of the most, I'd say, it was such a calm. It wasn't a calm. It was a frantic one, but it was like the whole episode leading up to that death was so slow, so calm, and the episode itself was silent because I think what that episode was trying to address was death itself. Like, you start from the episode, right? The episode starts with L. It kind of has a flashback of L when he was taken to Wami's orphanage, and he's crying and weeping. And then it goes back into the present day where L is just standing, like crouched in front of a computer, just by himself. And it just made the point that L was so lonely, like up until his death, like he'd never had any friend. And the one person he started to befriend was turned out to be his mortal enemy, which was Light Yagami. They had so much in common. Both of them were just super geniuses. Both of them enjoyed doing the same thing, which was solving problems. Everyone else was kind of vibing off them, and L couldn't really relate with everyone else. Even his own, like, so-called adopted father, Wami, he never really related. There was always a distance between L and the other characters. But with Light Yagami, he had this, like, it wasn't just an intellectual connection, but they had the same interest.
It was borderline homo, fam.
Oh my god.
Borderline homosexual. Yeah, I'd say that. But the episode was sick as well because if you watch that episode again, there's hardly any dialogue whatsoever.
Never seen it.
Hardly any dialogue. Like, it's either sound, or it's just, or it's just like sort of it's just like scenes. That's it. And basically there was this one scene where L was just standing, like, in the rain, like it was pouring down.
Oh yeah, and it was he literally said, "I think today's the day I die," or some shit like that. Along those lines.
And it had like, so the thing is, when we think about death, like when we talk about the imagery of death, we sort of think about Christian themes, right? Like the bells, the kind of the whole element of like the redemption, that sort of element. Like, death is meant to be peace at the end, that sort of shit. But and then this episode kind of followed in themes. Talked about the church bells right at the beginning, and L was kind of like laughing at it in a way because it was saying, sounds like something happy is about to happen at the wedding, but he never mentions death. So the entire episode is kind of foreshadowing his death. It's showing, like, it's sort of like slipping in little clues here and there that L's gonna die, but no one really knows. But anyway, so you've got this great episode that's leading up to death, and then you have his actual death, and his actual death is when the Shinigami behind him appears. L starts to panic. The episode starts to speed up. This is where, like, it proper starts to speed up, and then there's like there's panic alarms everywhere, and everyone's panicking because Shinigami's gone, and the Death Note's gone with her. And what ends up happening is Shinigami sacrificed her life, right, to save Misa's life, who's another character that and then he dies, and his death scene slow, and he's falling off the chair, and then everyone is just shocked by this happening. And then Light is the first one to run up to L and catch his body. But then the weird thing is, yeah, as L's eyes are beginning to close, about to sort of pass out, the last thing is Light's face grinning down at him, like eye, sort of communicating the fact that Light won the battle.
Yeah,
And that's the last thing.
You was right, L. You was right. It was me all along.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, ordinarily you'd be pissed off, right? You'd be angry to die in the sort of hands, like, of your enemy. But the thing was, it brought so much relief because at the end of the day, right, long, like his suspicion right. But everyone else around him thought he was wrong. It's like, what are you talking about? Light's helping. How can he be the? And then L's like, no, he's helping. Put his position like, that L, like Light Yagami is the first suspect. So it was such a smart, brilliant episode, and so sad at this time, the death of Rem. But I think the biggest point is not just that L died or Rem died, the fucking series died with L's death, right? Because everything that followed after his death was trash. Because when L died, it wasn't a battle between the smartest brains, right? Two of the smartest minds in the show. It was between the smartest mind in the show versus two, like, average, not average minds, but like, sort of kind of half characters, Nier and Mello, and they both had characteristics. So it was really, really. Nier was just like a carbon copy of L, except he was smaller and dumber, and Mello was more impulsive, but he liked candy.
Talking about how sad the deaths were, innit? You get me?
Yeah. So the saddest thing of the death
Give me the
was
character
the
problems,
anime died. The anime died. Anime was completely derailed. Like the anime just became trash.
For me,
I mean, his death was depressing because after his death, like the anime just like became dead.
Completely died. In my
nah, not for me, because like the way
Not for me. I won't lie. Not for
the
me.
way it ended, it wanted me to watch the second season, and the reason why is because it ended in a way where I don't know if this is a spoiler for anyone, but it doesn't matter anymore. For the amount of people that he killed, it was the longer time he had to suffer in the Shinigami world, basically. And in the Shinigami world, he would be able to see the other Shinigamis and stuff. So what his plan was because he killed so many people, even though he'd be suffering, he'd be alive for a much longer time because of the amount of people he killed, and he'd try to take over that world next. You
don't know about that.
Don't know about that.
I don't know about that either, but
that's where it was meant to go if they had a second season anyway.
Okay, but Light's death actually was sad to me as well, for some reason. I actually felt sad when he died. I should have said Light. Yagami.
Because the thing about Light, at the end of the day, what do they call a tragic protagonist? Someone who starts off as he's the main character of the series, but he's all time, right? And L was like, he was also a main character, but he was the hero, but he dies midway and off his legacy. Two really, really underwhelming. I hate the fact that Nier and Mello are too similar to L. It felt like a cop-out. They should have been different characters. I don't like the fact that what are the chances of Nier having the sociopathic L, Mello having the same sort of quirky interest with chocolate? Like, hey, just come up with an original. Stop, trying to cash out on a good character like L.
What's that got to do with Saddest Death?
Fuck Death Note.
I gave you 3.
You started talking about other characters. Like...
Fuck Vegeta.
Fuck Goku.
Wait. I laid out 3 good reasons why I think it's a sad. Firstly, episode was really, really sad.
Alright, don't repeat again, man. We heard you, man.
Character consequences were really sad, and finally, the show was really shit at the end.
Alright.
Cool.
Shut I'll go.
Just go next and
I'll
start.
go next.
Start.
The saddest death for me was Carmina from Gurren Lagann. Have any of you seen Gurren Lagann?
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
I have to.
We don't want trash.
Let me.
Thank you.
Actually,
Yo,
bullshit.
bro. Let me explain the story a bit and
Please
explain
do,
to you why
please
it was
do.
sad. So
I
this is
wasn't
set in the
after it.
future on Earth, well into the future, where the Spiral King has basically taken over the land and has forced what's it called, humans, to live in secluded areas. So they're literally they're like sheep being put in a cage. You know what's it called, in a
Pen.
farm. You know how it is, bro. But yeah,
Yeah.
It's like that. They're forced to live in secluded areas. They got no freedom basically. I think they have to pay them money and all that shit. Basically, they're in oppression. They're being oppressed by the Spiral King and his men. And then there's this guy called Carmina, and he's with his brother. His brother looks up to him. His brother sees Carmina as like, I don't know, the leader. He's the leader basically of the freedom fighters. That's what I'm gonna call them. I don't know their name, but they're basically freedom fighters. They're trying to fight against the Spiral King, who's basically an overpowered king. He's just mad powerful. Like, he has control. If you think about it, he has control over Earth, over humans, and
Over the
basically
universe.
from outer space, the aliens and all that shit. So these guys go out to fight. Think about it like this: Carmina's the main character, yeah. These guys go out to fight and they're defending themselves, and they're getting beaten up badly by Spiral King's warriors. They're not even. It's not even the Spiral King. These are his sub fighters, or whatever you call it. But yeah, so they're fighting them, and it's a good fight and all. And Carmina's basically leading it. Everyone's mechs are getting destroyed from the freedom fighters. The freedom fighters are getting completely destroyed, and Carmina ends up getting injured. He ends up getting injured to a real bad state. But you think, oh wait, no, he's still okay to go on because he still fights. He's still going on to fight. Yeah, he's still fighting these guys, and he ends up killing them, and he beats them. But while he's doing this, everyone else is basically disabled. Nobody else can fight. It's only him fighting on his own against Spiral King warriors. Yeah. So what happens is, he fights them. He destroys them by himself, even though he gets injured really badly at one point. Everyone's worried about what's happening to him midway through the fight. He ends up, even through the mad pain, through his mech, he still continued to fight. And for everyone else, not for himself, for everyone else that was there to make sure they're alive, to make sure they're alive, he sacrificed himself. The main character sacrificed himself so that everyone else is alive, and that he could by himself defeat the enemies, bro. And then he died literally in his mech while smiling, blood all over his body.
Why I find that a bit weird, yeah. Because he died in episode 7, innit?
Yeah.
Introduced, then killed off, and like what? He was introduced in the first episode or the second one?
I don't know. One of the first.
His lifespan, then I flies in it. You get me?
His lifespan was very short, which made it really sad because he was the main character. We were literally starting to like
sad,
him.
There's no character development, and there wasn't enough character development for you to feel anything towards the guy in the first place, innit?
No, but no, that's a lie because.
Oh, it's not because it was 7 episodes, fam. What can you what can you learn?
Listen. The reason why Kamina was sad because everyone looked up to him, and he was the symbol. He was literally the symbol of freedom for them. He was literally the leader. He was literally the symbol that gave them hope. That okay, maybe we can get out of this oppression. Maybe we can fight the oppressors.
So the main character is to hate him. So the main character is to hate him, or was jealous of him or something.
No, he was the main character.
The little midget guy.
The little midget? No, that was his brother. He wasn't jealous of him.
Brothers. They weren't brothers.
He
went
saw him as an older bro, at least. He called him bro, innit? Like,
jealous of him, fam. He didn't like him.
No, are you talking about the same person?
The guy with the spiral thing, innit? The guy that put the spiral on the thing. He was jealous of him at one point, fam. Because he got the girl that he wanted or something.
Basically, I think what Bilal was trying to say. I think what Bilal was trying to say is that he looked up to him, like they had an informal kind of brotherhood, kind of like how Ace and Luffy had that. You know, like Luffy was the younger one, and Ace was. But the Ace and Luffy's relationship was different because Ace was constantly out for Luffy. Luffy was doing his thing, like he was an individual, right?
No.
But the Kamina and the midget lacked confidence.
Yeah.
You know, he was nervous. He wasn't developed as a person, but when he saw Kamina, he saw someone idealized.
Yeah, because when I remember watching the show, because he died like 7 episodes in, it was a big shock, but it wasn't enough for me to feel anything because like there was hardly any character development for me anyway.
The
Innit?
thing is, I think it's more about like, yeah, I mean, maybe he didn't have the most character development. He didn't have much screen time, but you kind of relate to Kamina through the midget. Like you sort of you compare them. Like you see Kamina, this really confident, strong character who, you know, the ideal of everyone in this village, right? He's free thinking, he's positive, he's energetic, he's everything everyone isn't, right?
Yeah.
But then right at the opposite end of the spectrum, right, you have this midget guy empathize with. He's someone who's less confident, doesn't really believe in himself. By comparison, he's not as great as Kamina.
Kamina was literally the symbol of hope, and when that symbol of hope died, he was literally the leader.
Kamina sort of represents what to become in a way. So you sort of understand why Kamina is a midget, and he has a function. Like Kamina is just plot. He's basically the end game for this midget. This midget wants to be Kamina.
Be him.
But it's just about foreshadowing how it get there, because Kamina was, if you compare like the midget, like when he's much older compared to Kamina, like the midget is much more rational. He's a better leader because he's not that much in the same way. He's more realistic with his ambition. But Kamina, it was just positive energy. He had just contagious energy that sort of inspired everything.
And the midget's aim, like his whole life aim, was literally trying to be more like him.
Yeah,
literally.
So build his confidence stuff and like Kamina. So yeah, Kamina, he didn't have to be like the interesting character or most developed, because at the end of the day, he was just a. So sad he died because his death was significant to things. The midget. And by the way, this is a sick Kamina. Say this is actually it's something that when I heard it, I was like, that is like, if you don't believe in,
is he cutting off or is it me?
Just that believe.
It's cutting off for sure.
Nabil, you're cutting off.
Oh, but his quote was basically, he was like, if you don't believe in yourself, midget or whatever, I don't remember his name, I'm gonna just call it. If you don't believe in yourself, then believe in the me who believes in you. Does that make sense?
Some bullshit like that.
Yeah, basically. So it's like if you don't have enough confidence in yourself, if you don't believe, you know, you're good enough. But if you believe I'm good enough, then probably
you're too close.
Think about it like this, you know, believe in me because I believe in you.
Yeah, believe in the me that believes in you. Yeah, as I said, it was a symbol of hope, man. It was a symbol of what.
Still not as sad as ELLs Death, though.
Nah, it is. Like even if you check, like I don't know, even if you check online, I guarantee that his death will be the saddest death, like one of the most saddest deaths in anime history. His death, 100%.
It's not.
Have you seen it?
Oh no, but just
exactly. You haven't.
You just
seen
killed it. You just made it sound like it's not the saddest death, man. I don't know if there's explanation.
When the main character dies, the character that
everyone
expected them to lead. The main character. Everyone expected him to lead the whole freedom fighters The
It's
whole
like you
freedom
switched,
fighters
you
are
switched it
victims,
on and he died, fam. You switched
Fam.
on the show and he died, fam. Like,
No. But the show was
Fam,
like
so
20
wait,
episodes.
so wait,
though.
wait. The show
20
starts,
episodes.
yeah, and then he dies. So do you build a
Yeah.
connection with him? Do
In
you
7
build like?
episodes.
fam, like, he's supposed to
Or
be
8
depressed,
episodes.
fam. It was
Nah,
seven.
that can't. You're just a soft youth, fam. That can't make me. For
You know what?
7 episodes.
I
I haven't even had
Wait,
fun with
hold
it.
up. If I
The
type
reason
in-
why L or Jiraiya's death was so sad is because, fam, Jiraiya was in Naruto's life when he was a child. Remember that, yeah? And then it grew, so we've had a lot of episodes building up with them two just bonding and all of that shit, yeah? All the way up to the point where he died. And L's death as well. From the day they brought L in, him and Thingy, like Yagami have been going at it, and then it turned into some kind of friendship and all of that. And then you feel that connection, and that's when you die. But for 7 episodes, what do you actually feel for me to
Listen,
be like?
it's a 25
what's that?
episode. It's a 25 episode anime, yeah. Yeah. So 7 episodes is half, okay. Wait,
What's that?
let me see what episode does.
Doggy math right there.
Oh my days.
No, listen.
But yeah,
It's just
man.
what he represented when he died. What he represented kind of died with him, and the only reason what he represented actually made a big significance in the actual anime was because what he represented, the midget was trying to take off him. He had to try and take that role even though he couldn't at the time, and they had literally had no leader to fight the oppressed. So that's why
that's
it was sad.
basically the plot of the anime, innit? But like,
Yeah.
it doesn't tell us why it's so depressing and sad. Innit?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Depressing 'cause
saying.
He was the symbol. Like if you destroy the symbol,
So, 'cause he's a
literally-
symbol.
look, okay, listen. You're getting.
Fam,
Hey,
if Theresa May
hey,
was to die right now, I
listen,
won't feel no way, my
listen,
G.
free
If the
fighters,
Queen was
yeah?
to die, I won't feel no way,
Look,
my G.
oh my
I won't lie
Okay,
to you.
what
Whatever
happened when
symbol
Martin
she
Luther King
represents,
died?
I will
What
not feel
happened
no
when
way.
Martin Luther King died, bro? The leader died. Alright, we're going there, bro.
Yeah, but
We're going there.
he did something. He did
That was
something.
Kamina. That was Kamina.
He did
Kamina
that.
did shit, bro. He
Fam.
was the first guy, yeah, to kill Spiral Warriors, yeah, like it was nothing. Everyone else was scared to fight Spiral Warriors, yeah.
Oh my god,
this
he
guy-
killed someone. He killed a spy warrior because like
Bro,
it was nothing. Now he's
only
dead. I'm so
reason-
sad.
Listen,
Oh.
the only reason that these guys defeated the Spiral King in the end is because of Kamina. Is because
Why are you
Kamina
shouting?
told them
Why are you
that it
why are you
was
shouting?
possible.
Why are you
Because
shouting?
No, I'm not shouting. I'm trying to prove a point. The only reason.
I'm trying to wind you up.
Oh, wait. Kamina was a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
He was Martin Luther King.
No.
End of story, fam.
He was a motivational speaker who happened.
Whoa, let's tone it down, innit?
What, bro? It was the Martin Luther King of
Yeah,
anime.
it's anime, bro.
Hey, anime, what the fuck is that?
I saw we did broadcast. Why are we still talking about politics?
It's
Oh,
nothing to do
Dave.
with politics.
Alright, Mike, do your thing, fam. Do your part,
Do your
man.
thing, bro.
I'm gonna make mine short and sad, I guess.
You know,
Alright.
we're gonna let the comment section decide, isn't it?
Yeah, we can let the comment section. I don't know. Basically, so mine is Maze Hughes. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, yeah, but that's what I think. I don't know, but okay, cool. So he's in Full Metal Alchemist, right? He's a loving person. He's the nicest person that you'd ever meet in that anime. Right?
Loved his daughter.
He's a family man. He loved his family to bits.
Oh, wait. Okay, go on.
He loved his family to bits, thingy. Oh wait, sorry, my mom's talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, so he loved his family to bits. Now, obviously, there was a few things happening in the country. He was investigating it, right? And then eventually he figures out something. I don't know if I'm spoiling it. I don't care if I'm spoiling it, by the way. So he figures out that I think the whole country is being used as a thingy circle. What's it called? And what's that circle thing called? That Alchemist, you know the circle thing. Someone help me out.
Pentagram.
Nah, they have something. They call it something. I don't know. So basically, he basically figures out what's going on in the country, right? So as soon as he figures out what's going on in the country,
Trigram?
I forgot. I forgot.
It doesn't matter. Keep going.
An alchemist. Cool. No, fam, whatever, man. Let's not debate. So as soon as he figures out what's going on, like envy comes, and that envy is one of the homunculus, right? If you don't know what homunculus is,
Transmutation circle.
yeah, yes, that's what it's called. That's what it's,
Yo,
yeah, the whole country
Turn
is.
down your gain a little bit. Turn down your gain.
What game?
Gain.
Oh, your game.
Yeah.
So I turn it down. You guys are gonna be like, it's too low. I turn it up. You guys are gonna.
I could turn you up on here. Like,
You said turn it up. Or turn it down.
no, turn it down. I could turn you up on Discord.
Don't worry, Bilal can
If I ever hear you say turn it up again, I'm gonna tell you fuck off, nigga.
No, you sounded good now. Alright, go.
All
turn
right,
him on, Bilal.
so yeah. All right, guys. Let's do this quickly.
Alright.
Yeah. So he finds out that the whole country was being used as a transmutation circle. And he's trying to get that information off to his close friend Roy Mustang, right? And then that's when Envy shows up, stabs him in the shoulder. Now, through all of that, right? I would think the first thing he's gonna do is try and look for help, right? Don't get me wrong. When he got stabbed, he threw some kunai thing in Envy's head, and then after walked out. He saw one of the assistants. I thought he was gonna be like, "Go get help or something. Go get help." You know what? I think because he didn't want her to get involved in what was going on, or what was about to happen to him, he didn't ask for help. He just said, "Give me a private line." So the woman tries to give him a private line. Picks up the phone. He's like, "Nah." Goes outside into a telephone booth. Yeah, it's dark out. There's like one light shining on top of the like telephone booth, right? He's making a call, and then the bitch on the line was like, "Oh, we can't put you through unless you give us your code." He's like, "What? He doesn't have time. Put me through right now." Like he wants to get the information that he's found out off to Roy Mustang. Cool. He looks at his he looks at his notebook, reads out the code, and then he's been placed on hold. And that's when someone who looks to be his close partner, like his partner, like shows up, right? Pointing a gun at him, right? So you'd think he's safe. You're like, oh my god, think he's back. But why is she pointing a gun at him? I forgot her name, by the way, guys. I don't care. But it's just his partner, yeah? So pointing a gun, you're thinking, why is your partner like, you can tell they have a bond, like they have a good friendship together, yeah? You're thinking, why? And then he has this look on his face. He's like, "You are not my partner," because my partner has a mole on the left side of his under her eyes. Boom. And then Envy starts speaking in his voice. And then, okay, cool. He was like, "Oh, I have a family to go to, and that I'm not gonna let myself get killed here." Takes out a kunai. Guess the camera was facing him. He takes out the kunai, about to throw at him, and you know what Envy does? Because Envy is a shapeshifter. Shapeshifts into his beloved wife, like. He looked at that face and it's like, raw, like, even though I know that's Envy, right? I cannot like literally get myself to put a sharp object through her. You feel me? So you know what he did? He just froze like in midair in shock. And that's when Envy shot him. The last thing he saw shooting him was his wife's face. Like, can you imagine that? Like, he's a family man. He loves his wife. After that, like, the whole, like, literally, his family was sad. He had like a little daughter, fam. That little daughter also loved him so much. Like,
yeah,
so
the
much.
funeral was very sad as well, man. The funeral.
It was such a sad moment that, like, literally, fam. When I saw that, my heart was like, wow, like, what the fuck, like, what the fuck. But yeah, that's the saddest moment for me. Yeah, I'm not deals like you, man, but. Yeah, that's me there. That's me there. He's a family man.
Okay.
Got shot by his wife, and like, yeah, that's me right there, right?
Have you guys got anything to say? No.
Death Note sucks.
Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Let us know your saddest anime deaths and who you agreed with the most. Obviously, Martin Luther King. The title of the video is gonna be comment. I can't remember his name. It's Martin Luther King. But thank you guys for coming. Check us all out. Links in the description. Peace.